Welcome, Kwabena. How are you?
I'm well, yes. I'm well.
Yeah,
I'm well.
cool. I'm so happy that you've come to share with us some really pertinent information for those who are interested in coming to the continent.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for taking your time and the sacrifices that you're doing, and at least bringing me here as well, and all that you're doing all over the country. We appreciate it. And educating us, showing us places. I've been here. I've not been to a lot of places that you have been. And the courage, the boldness as well.
Oh, thank you very, very much. Now, can you begin telling us a little bit about just a brief introduction as far as your background is concerned and what led you up to this moment, as far as your channel and what you promote this day, and then take it from
Okay.
here. Okay? Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So my name is Kwabena and Marie. I born in Ghana. I schooled in Ghana, first degree agric engineering. I'm an entrepreneur. I did second degree in bioprocess engineering, which is technically food process engineering. But I'm in Ghana now. I'm in business with my wife. We have fashion retail in multiple locations in the malls in Ghana. We have done a lot of construction works and engineering works, and we have property development company as well, where we build our own apartment and a little bit of 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom houses that we sell. I wrote a book which is Perspective: How to Develop the Mindset to Start and Build Your Own Business. And we have YouTube page, Facebook page, and we do some radio programs to help the youth in Ghana to get the right frame of thinking so that they can pick on from there.
I want to stop you just briefly before you continue. Now, you spoke about the businesses that you have here currently in Ghana. Now, did you
Yeah.
go abroad to receive the information that you did pertaining to entrepreneurship here in Ghana?
No. I did a second degree, which was in Europe,
Okay.
but that was just
Oh,
short time, 1 year or so, with
okay.
my wife there. And so no money to start business from anywhere, no connection. It's just pure vim and vigor to start from here, and some of the things that we learned, which has, taken us through up to this point. So purely here, no connection, nothing.
You are organic. You learn
Yes,
much of
yes,
what you
nothing.
know
No.
right here on the soil of Ghana. Okay, got it.
Mm.
Okay, take it away. Take it away, Kwabena.
Okay. So entrepreneurship, I think, is a tool that will help us to develop as a people, especially in Africa. The government structures are there, but the missing link is where we have to have a lot of system thinking, systemic, maybe some kind of education uh, of our people taking charge of the businesses that we are building all over our continent, so Ghana included. So it's one thing when somebody has a experience, they have worked in a lot of places, and then they happen to just start a business. A lot of those, we call them as startups. They come with some technical expertise, and they come with a lot of managerial, experience, and sometimes even money, and sometimes even connections. So somebody has maybe completed engineering. They have worked for maybe 5 to 10 years in big corporations, and then they decide to start a business. That kind of person is entirely different from somebody who is just starting business, sometimes even with no education, no money, no father anywhere, no political connection. The paths are different. I think that the second one, which majority of us would find ourselves in, where we don't have money, we don't have connection, and we just have a dream to build a business. The things that we have to know may be so much, a little bit different from the ones with a lot of expertise and connections and money and sometimes they can even lose the money and they still be stable. Now, we took the path, not that we had the other option, we didn't have the other option. There was no much technical, except the degree, there was not much technical expertise, no money, no political connection. And we had to build from being a small business to wherever we are now. And some of the things that I think, if you are coming to Ghana as a diasporan, some of the things that I think will work well. There's difference between applying these business models in our universities. A lot of them were built on the West. And I don't think that even the kind of education we get here, we get a lot of examples and models built with the West in mind. especially when it comes to technology, business, productivity. We're still being taught in our business schools, largely, with concepts and theories from the other side. But when you hit the ground, it's entirely different. And that's why sometimes to transition as a professional like yourself, highly educated, exposed to building a business, there's a lot that you have to learn, and there's a lot that you would have to unlearn. If you look at the landscape of our business, majority of our business people in Ghana, majority of them who have really created something from nothing, largely are not highly educated from the classroom. I'm not talking of, from the classroom. They have had their information from the ground. The doctors and the lawyers and the engineers that we have here largely have been people who we call, professionals and what they call corporate people. So they are working with the mining companies, the oil companies, the banks, the telecommunication companies. Some of them are working for the government. So there's a space that has been filled by the Lebanese, by the Europeans, by the Chinese, and they come in with systems a lot of the times. And they come in, even though it's a startup, they come in starting from a very high level. So they have a model, they are testing it, and then they come in with maybe $10 million, $5 million. They come in push, and before you see it, the business is everywhere. They're employing millions, they're employing thousands or hundreds. Most of us may not have the money. Most of us may not even have the technical expertise, but we still have to fill this gap, because what I believe is that the people who would have to create the wealth for us, with all the resources that we have, the people that we have to be in charge are the people from here. They must be in charge of the prosperity. It is not right that if you go to the oil sector, you are talking of all these multinationals everywhere. And the closest that people get to is where they become managers. Even if they are the CEOs, they don't have much say when it comes to the money. So when you go to the retail, the big retailers, where are they? Are they Ghanaians or are they Africans? If you go to the big farms that we have, who are those creating them? If you go to the big construction companies, if you go to the big mining companies, all this. And that's why I think that we have to wake our people up. The disadvantage that they say is the kind of education that we've been giving. So you're educated largely to go and look for a job. That's it. And I think it's all over the world anyway. But for the entrepreneurship, for you developing the psyche to start a business from nothing, you have to give that kind of education to yourself. And you have to become aware that I have a first degree in whatever course that they have given me. I probably will be able to produce one or two products, but I still don't have the structural thinking in terms of how to build a business. Not just the structure, the inner talkings, how the emotional journey that you have to go through to build a business. So that's where I've been through, and that's what we have done. And largely we did a lot of these things, just being opposite to the cultural setting, to the educational setting, into all other things. And so I will go through some of the points that I think we all should be interested in, especially those who want to build businesses. So the first one is you must be clear of yourself as to what you want to do, and you must know your level. I don't have any money. I don't have any connection. I don't even have any job, but I want to build a business. That's fine. That's the level. Or I have connection. I have technical expertise. I have money. I want to enter into this area. Or I'm even doing business in America, or I'm doing business in England. I'm doing business in Jamaica, but I want to come to Ghana to start a business. You must define what you have and what you don't have. Now, if you don't have anything and you want to come, then you must know that business, largely they say it's tough, and it's tough. It's about problem solving. It's about creativity. It's about adding value. So you must know the skill set that you have, and you must also understand our kind of market. If you look at our market, majority of our people don't have credit. So if you want to start a business here, price is very sensitive. They will say we are poor. It's not that we are poor. It's because we have different way of buying, you know. So we don't have, a lot of the people, maybe 90% of the people don't have credit card with 1,000 cedis or 10,000 cedis to spend, which means they spend as they make, they spend. So if you want to do any business, I think that you look at the larger market, which is the 90% or more of our people, and which means that you have to define it, or you have to price where the majority of the people can really buy. You know, so our businesses price is critical. The kind of price or the kind of product and how we price it is critical. A lot of people in the business school, they are talking of niche market and all those. I say, that's why most of the multinationals, a lot of them struggle because they are using models that don't work. And even they come with a lot of money. You go to the retail market, a lot of the multinationals who are purely importing, they have had a lot of trouble. Why? Because the price is sensitive. You are going to sell a shirt and you are charging 200 Ghana cedis. Majority of the people don't need that kind of shirt. You know, but if you bring it to 50 Ghana cedis, 30 Ghana cedis, same quality, the people can buy it. You know, so you have to understand that we don't have the credit, and we probably don't even need it. And so we buy with a lot of attention on the money. How much is it costing? You know, so once you're able to tackle that, and the next one is you should be able to look at product or businesses where you don't bring everything. You don't bring everything. You don't bring, you know, you're importing everything. I think with time, if you don't have very strong financial backing, you struggle, because then you have you know, all the markups, all the things that you put on the price becomes much expensive, so you can't sell it. You know, but if you can bring something that is semi-finished, or even if it's not semi-finished, maybe sometimes even you bring, or if you have to bring raw materials at all. Businesses that have been set that way seem to do some bit of, you know, they have some bit of success, because then they have the product here. They cut the taxes from the pot, and they're able to price with the people in mind. So these are some. Yes,
I have a question. Yeah, I have a question. You said don't bring all of your units or your. Are you talking about people who sell and who bring things to the continent,
yes,
or someone who comes from the diaspora and they have units of a product? You're saying they shouldn't bring their entire business here.
Yeah, I'm talking of the product. Let's say if you're making, let's say, body lotion, unless you are bringing it at a very, you know, unless you are getting the product at a very cheap rate, by the time that you bring a finished product here and you're not able to reduce it, you are going to sell at a price the majority of the people will not be able to buy. You would think that you are talking of quality. I think that we talk of the price before the quality in our market. You know, even though we want the quality, if you ask me to choose between, majority of the people, if you ask them to choose between quality and price, they look at the price first before they even look at the quality. There is a section of the people who look at quality, but how many are they? Can you build and grow and scale the business with that number? Which likely is not so. You know, so for instance, if we come to the real estate field, you are building and you want to sell something around $250,000, $300,000, $500,000. No problem. You have a few people who have money to buy, but majority of the people will not be in that category. You know, so which means you just focus in a few places. But if you want to grow business and change the course of our country, then that kind of thinking, you know, must come in. So that is key, because if you don't get that right, a lot of the things that you're going to do, you will import even a concept, you import the idea, you import everything, and you think that the people will appreciate it. And a lot of the times, that is where they design. So I'm saying that design the business so that it can work. If you don't design the business.
Yeah. May I reiterate this for some that may not really understand what you're saying? I've never heard this, and it makes so much sense. Okay. So if you guys aren't really capturing what he's saying, for those who have businesses existing, whether it's brick and mortar, maybe you're selling items online, you know, no matter what it is, he's saying don't just abandon your initial business and just come and just like leave all behind, because the product that you have that may be valued in your former place may not be as valued, because they're going to compare it to the price. You understand? They're going to look at the price first within Ghana. He's teaching us about Ghana, the market within Ghana. Okay. And so that makes so much sense, because if I had a product there, I mean, which I actually did, but I didn't know this strategy, and so people ask, well, how are you able to do what you do? I never brought it all the way here. You understand? I made it more international, but it wasn't that I knew that. So now when I listen to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, had I brought the entire product here, which was my initial plan, that I could have possibly have, lost out, because then I have a million competitors here whose prices are very, very low.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. That's what you have said. So maybe you can even bring just the formula and try to repackage it.
Okay.
Do the printing. It makes it easier because it's driven. The access to funds in the people work together.
So you're creating another branch of the business, and just it's not like you're destroying your quality. You're actually just you're working with the market. The market is different here. Okay.
The market is different. The market is different. And you see, that is the concept that the Chinese use, and they are using that to beat the Europeans. They use that. The Chinese, let's say you need a machine, the European will say that the machine is 100,000 Ghana cedis. It's quality. It will stay with you for 10 years before you maintain it. Chinese will tell you, no, I want to give it to you 2 years, and it works for 2 years. I'm going to give it to you 10,000, but it works for 2 years, and 2 years time I will upgrade the technology on the machine. And majority of the people can afford the 10,000 than the 100,000 that is going to stay for 10 years that I can afford. So if I need machines to set up a business, and you are into machine, production, you are looking at something like that, where you can take a lot of the accessories out to do the basic things that the people need at a good price. And for me, that's why sometimes they beat the others, because that's where we are. So Design the Business said that it works. Design the Business said that it works. The next one will be let me see. I have a lot of points here. Majority of us, I said that we will start as a small business.
A small business.
Yes. And so don't be so much concerned about your ego and the so-called dignity that comes with it. So if you have to go to the market to set a table to sell, go ahead and do that, because that is where your starting point is. If you have to drop all, forget about all the things that you have achieved. You want to start with where you are, with the little you have. Most people are waiting for capital to start business, and that is not so much right. If you wait for capital and you're not getting it, a lot of the times, start, just roll, just start, just push the button, with a little. As the concept evolves, as the model evolves, you will be able to know. Let's say I want to open a provision shop. Why we go provision shop here? Where you said make sugar and those. I do this. Maybe I do the math, and they're asking for 10,000 cedis. I don't have 10,000 cedis. Okay, maybe I can put a table in front of me and put water on it. That's just starting. When the people come, they will tell, oh, can you bring me granite? Can you bring me milk? Can you bring me sugar? Instead of me having 10,000 to go and put everything there, big rice, everything, and people come and the attention is not even there. I start with the level that I have as the market requests, as the market continues. I'll be able to stock the shop or the table even with the very things that the people need. And from there, I'll be able to sell every day, get something. And once you're seeing the money every day, nobody will tell you to grow. Then the next time you see, you have been able to accumulate money from that, and now you're getting a shop, a small shop. So it's more of starting from where you are with whatever you have. And once you move, you always meet people who will be able to give you the right help. So it's not so much about waiting for capital to start business. I mean, the way I see it, especially with the businesses that are not project oriented. If I don't have capital, I'm not going to look at project oriented businesses where you push a lot of money before you start to get revenue from that. I will not look at that. I will look at business that I have a product, the next minute somebody is paying me something. And from there, I'll be able to grow. Then all the other big ideas will come on board. And this one is for people who seem to think that they don't have anything at all. So how can I do a business? Now, the other professionals, startup, you still have to start from. Don't lose your money like that. Just come and, rent a very big office, put everything there, and you don't even have one customer. That one will break you. So you still have to evolve. People talk about business plan. I think that this is the business plan. The business plan is about the customer. So if you don't understand the customer, how are you going to build a business plan? You know, so once it starts to grow, you will know what your customers want. And then you'll be able to identify where the money should go. So you become so much resourceful with the little you have because you understand the market. So if you test it and it's not working, then it will be very easy to pull out because then you have not invested so much. And this is with people who don't have much to start. You know, so that is one thing. We have talked of the pricing. The other thing that I will want to talk about will be the way the people think. The way the people think. When you employ somebody, those regiments and regulations and controls, where this is it. If you don't follow it, I punish you. And people link them to productivity. Our people don't respond to that. So, and business, you have to, if you're going to grow the business, you will employ people, especially. And if you're going to employ people, you must understand them, because that's where the frustration will come from. If you want to treat them like donkeys, and you want to treat them like they're nothing, you're giving them money, so they're nothing, the person does not have money, but he will leave the money and go. But they don't have that psyche.